Today we're going to talk about supply and demand. Addie, could you read the objectives off of your syllabus on your computer, please?
Students will be able to explain how supply and demand determine price and profit.
And the second one?
Students will be able to explain what role consumers play in what produced and how much things cost.
Okay, so the first one is students will be able to explain how supply and demand determine price and profit. And the second one, students will be able to explain what role consumers play in what is produced and how much things cost. Okay, so to start out this new unit, I need you all to open up a new document on your computer. And it's going to look a lot like this, what you see on the whiteboard. It would be easiest if you just cut. It happened about 2 years ago involving Twinkies. Twinkies, yeah. They went from being about 30 cents for a Twinkie to being about $300 for a Twinkie. So how do you think that happened? Addie, how do you think that happened?
Because Twinkies were made no longer and more people wanted them, so they paid more money.
Okay, so Addie says that Twinkies were made no longer. Why? Why did that happen? Who decided not to make Twinkies any longer? Who do you think decided not to make Twinkies any longer?
The person that was making the Twinkies.
Does anyone know who was making Twinkies?
No.
No. It's a company called Hostess. They were making Twinkies, and then they decided to stop making Twinkies. Okay, so what does it have to do with the price of Twinkies?
Because more people wanted them because a lot of people liked them, but they were no longer being made, so they would pay more money so they could get Twinkies.
Okay, so suddenly there's a scarcity of Twinkies. Scarcity is one of your words, one of your vocabulary words. I'm not going to tell you the definition. If you know the definition by the things I'm saying, then you can go ahead and type it in right now, or you can wait. There's a scarcity of Twinkies. That's what's happening, right? So now the price for a Twinkie is dramatically going up. Is it going up just a little bit?
No.
No. Why do you think it's going up so much?
Because a lot of people like Twinkies.
Are Twinkies just hard to find?
Yes.
Or are we never going to find Twinkies again?
At that time was the last one you just said.
Well, at that time, they were not planning to make any more Twinkies.
Yeah.
That's why people were paying so much for an unopened box of Twinkies, or even for a package of, I think, 2 Twinkies come together. So up here we have a cause and effect chart. What I want to do is I want to use my vocabulary words to describe what happens with supply and demand. The supply of Twinkies, how is that related to the demand of Twinkies? Okay, so the first thing that Addie said was that...
You guess?
Yeah?
Hostess started making Twinkies again.
Yeah, Hostess started making Twinkies again. So what do you think happens now to the price of Twinkies?
They lower.
They start going
Decrease.
back. They're decreasing.
Yes.
The price of Twinkies is decreasing. And how do you think the person who bought a box of Twinkies on eBay for $300 feels about now?
They feel like that was worthless.
They feel like that wasn't such a good decision after all.
Yeah.
Okay, so under cause, I'm going to write Hostess reopened their factories.
Twinkies.
Twinkies are back. And by them opening up their factories, I'm going to go ahead and write now the supply, once again, of a chart I want you all to make. Okay? You can choose what product that you use to show about supply and demand. This is the first step in a series of things we're going to do to illustrate supply and demand. There's a few questions that you need to answer, and those are also in your syllabus. We're going to transfer those over to your document that we've already started. Those questions, and you can find these in your syllabus. I want you to copy these and then paste them to our document that we have here, where it says explain the effect of supply and demand on price, describe the effects of demand exceeding supply, describe the effects of supply exceeding demand, and explain the effect of choice on demand. Okay, so real quick, before we break into our triads, to start brainstorming and to start getting some ideas going, let's talk about some products we could use, that each of you could use. So we've already used Twinkies. What's something else that we can actually see a rise and a fall in price from time to time? Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any suggestions? Sorry. Let me get you started. I have one suggestion. When I bought some Easter candy a while ago, one package of candy was about $4.99. I went back to the same store 2 days after Easter, and that same package of candy was about 75 cents. So why do you think that was?
Oh,
Yes?
because Easter was already over, so people won't really buy that candy anymore because, Easter's over, so they don't need candy.
There's no
Yeah.
longer demand, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So that's one example. We're talking about Easter candy. What else do we have? That we know there's a high price for it at one time, and now there's a low price.
I saw at a candy store that there's like candy canes and stuff, and they were like 50 cents, and they were like usually like $2 because Christmas was already over.
Okay, so seasonal products. When a season ends, the price goes down. We don't need that. But at one time, typewriters were very expensive because there was a demand for them. All right, so you're going to have the rest of the class period to work with your group to come up with a product that you want to use to demonstrate supply and demand. This is the first step we're going to take. The last step we're going to take is we're going to create a Prezi, which is a super fun way to present on the computer what you found. And I'm going to show you some examples of some really fun Prezis in a second, okay? So go ahead and get started, and I'm going to be walking around checking in with you. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, go ahead. You can stop.